Welcome. Welcome to today's webinar, Reduce Downtime and IT Backlogs in 2026, Practical IT Operations for South African SMEs. This session is brought to you by 7C Managed IT Services in partnership with Atera. Before we begin, a few housekeeping notes. All microphones are muted during the session. Please drop your questions in the Q&A box. We'll open the floor for discussions later. If you would like us to connect with you after the webinar, simply type call back in the chat and we will get back to you. Now, please join me in welcoming Technical Director of 7C Managed IT Services, Eugene Claassen. Over to you, Eugene.
Morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Eugene. I'm Technical Director at 7C Computing. I've been in this game for approaching 2 decades now. I'm working all the way from the trenches of frontline support to the leadership role I find myself in today. During this time, I've helped grow us from being a small business to one that's bringing enterprise technology to the SME market in a digestible manner with the simple goal of just being better. Those of us that know us well, you'll know that we are committed to providing IT by design for SA's small to medium enterprise market. This means businesses with the size of between 10 to 2 to 300 users. And this really sits at the heart of what we do, helping them run stable, secure IT environments that allow them to grow. One thing we see consistently is that IT teams today are under enormous pressure. They expected to respond faster, resolve issues more efficiently, maintain security, compliance, provide visibility into what's happening across their environment. Many organizations are still operating with IT support tools and workflows that were designed for a very different time. As these companies grow, these tools start to show their limitations. As an example, we've come across in-house IT customers who simply use a shared mailbox on 365 to track their work that happens on a daily basis. Even using ourselves as an example, we used to use an open source platform that worked well for a long time, but ultimately simply couldn't keep up with us anymore. We see recurring issues that never quite get fixed. Tickets bounce between teams, patching that lacks visibility, reporting that doesn't always give the operational insights that a business actually needs. Exciting for us is the fact that we've reached a point where we've outgrown our previous tools. Just as we've grown, so have our customers, and definitely the market has grown with us. Now more than ever, we find that you must be equipped to provide better visibility, the faster turnarounds, and smarter operations within your IT operation. This is why we invested with Atera into This is a modern IT operations platform that allows us to deliver on all of these promises and goals. Better workflow, stronger automation, deeper operational insights. Today, we hope to share how that shift is helping us reduce downtime and eliminate the kind of IT backlogs that slows a business down. But before we get too excited and jump into the operational side of things, let's start with a little bit of a quick quiz. Don't worry, no marks today. It's just a useful way for us to highlight some of the operational challenges that many SMEs might face in today's age. So with that being said, first question. What is the fastest way to reduce recurring IT issues in an SME? Is it A, add more tools and dashboards, B, track the top recurring tickets, remove root causes, C, reset devices more often, or escalate everything to a senior engineer? If you just want to type into chat what you think your answer might be, feel welcome to. So, as we can see, the correct answer is B. Many might be tempted to go for D, which is escalated away, but that's not always the answer. We want to be tracking these top recurring tickets and remove those root causes. In a lot of environments, your teams spend their time fixing the same issue over and over and over again. Without visibility into these patterns, you're really just treating symptoms rather than causes. And that's exactly where an IT platform like this makes a huge difference. That being said, let's move on to our next question. Which of these is a sign that your IT support is stuck in firefighting mode? Is it most tickets are new one-off issues, the same problems keep coming back, your patching runs on a predictable cadence, or you find your ticket trends and root causes every month? Sure, I see we've got some good consensus here in the chat. Well done, everyone. Yes, the answer is B. If the same problems keep coming up under different tickets, it usually means there's a deeper problem you're not seeing or be addressing. Over time, this causes many of the issues that SMEs experience today: IT backlogs, frustration, all those types of horrible things. Finally, our last question, I promise. And this is a very simple true or false. If you can't quickly answer what devices you have and what's patched, you're carrying unnecessary IT and security risk. What do we think? Sure, I see we don't even need to have this webinar. We've got a chat here that gets it immediately. Yes, that's true. Your visibility into devices, patching, and operational health is one of the simplest ways to really protect your small problems from turning into big business disruptions. So if we put these questions together, you find a pattern starts to emerge pretty quickly. Most IT backlogs are not caused by one massive outage that happens at once. They're caused by small, repeat issues with limited visibility, manual work, without you ever addressing these root issues. The good news is this: you don't need a massive IT project to change that. You need a few practical improvements that you put in place every day over time that makes your life much easier. And this is really what our next slide is about. And here's the top 5 ways that you can typically, top 5 things that can typically make a big difference for SMEs. First and foremost, standardize your operations. When a workflow is repeatable, support becomes structured and repeatable, not reactive. Improve your IT visibility. If you can see your tickets, devices, your patching clearly, you can make faster, more accurate decisions. Strengthen your security hygiene. A lot of risk is reduced when your patching and monitoring are consistent and measurable. Reduce noise to control costs. When repeat tickets start being dealt with, your IT team gets to take a step back and deal with the bigger problems, making your spend much more predictable. Finally, you want to execute a focused 30-day plan. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, quick wins really do make a difference here. A 30-day sprint with clear deliverables is often the fastest way to gaining momentum and showing value in what you are doing. Now, that's all fine and well, but it's important that this isn't just nice advice, some nice words that we're saying here. It only really works if you consistently work at this and measure your progress as you go. And that, again, is where the right operational platform becomes a real advantage. So what these questions in the top 5 changes highlight is what we see every day. Most businesses aren't struggling because of their IT team lacking talent. They're struggling because they don't have the operational visibility and automation to run IT efficiently. And that's exactly why Atera, at the core of our operations, just makes sense to us. It helps us automate those routine tasks, improves our help desk workflows. We can spot ticket patterns sooner and get to root causes faster, monitor our systems more proactively, and deliver clearer reporting and transparency back to you, our customers. And even if you're not a 7C customer, the value still very much applies. because the same operating model works whether IT is outsourced, in-house, co-managed. A platform like Atera helps you put structure behind that model so your team, your provider can work faster, reduce those repeat issues, and keep our leadership informed without additional admin. Ultimately, it helps us do something very simple. Deliver IT operations to our customers and share a practical approach that any SME can use. As I mentioned in the beginning, this is it. Just be better. So with that in mind, I'd like to introduce our partner, Atera. They're going to walk us through a bit more of the platform in more detail. Please welcome Mira Friedland, Strategic Customer Success Manager, and Danielle Fox, Senior Account Manager. Welcome.
Thanks, Eugene. We're happy to be here. And we're ready to get started. Hi, everyone. We're incredibly proud to join forces with 7C today to talk about what elevated IT truly means for you and your business. When you combine Atera's industry-leading autonomous IT platform with 7C's deeply personalized support, the result is a profoundly more reliable and seamless working environment. You'll see today how this partnership empowers 7C to resolve your IT issues around the clock, drastically reducing time to resolution and providing continuous instant IT support. The ultimate value to you is enterprise-level IT reliability, all without you needing to invest in additional staff or extra resources. Let's take a step back for a second. For those who don't really know much about Atera or what it is that we do, Atera is the all-in-one IT management platform. In the past, IT teams had to juggle different tools for ticketing, for patching, and remote access. We've consolidated everything into one single pane of glass, including remote monitoring and management, patch management, software deployment, ticketing and help desk, and advanced analytics. For 7C's customers, for you guys, this centralized approach drastically improves visibility and allows for proactive versus reactive support, deep customization, automation, and reporting across your entire network. At the center of it all is our AI Copilot and our autonomous AI agent, Robin, all built with security and compliance at its core. By using Atera's integrated RMM and ticketing capabilities, we can set up custom thresholds, automate alerts, and pull detailed reports on billing and asset management. But the real game changer for cutting out repeated tasks is the AI Copilot. This allows the 7C team to spend less time on manual repetitive work and more time optimizing your IT strategy. We have, of course, our Atera Core on the left. We have our Copilot, as I mentioned, and our autonomous AI agent, Robin, is something we'll speak about a little bit later. Atera isn't just a lightweight tool. It's built for scale. Atera supports IT teams looking after devices ranging from 1,000 to 10,000. And we currently help manage over 6 million endpoints across more than 120 countries. Our core platform is supported in 6 languages, and our autonomous AI agent, Robin, is supported in all languages. We are proud to be named a visionary in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for endpoint management tools. And we're also proud to be named and recognized as the #1 AI platform for IT management across multiple review sites. Atera isn't just a platform that 7C uses. We're an industry leader trusted by over 13,000 clients worldwide. We provide support to some of the biggest managed service providers and internal IT departments in the industry. Our platform is recognized globally and powers the daily operations of demanding high-stakes enterprises. As a 7C customer, you now get the power of a globally trusted technology delivered with the 7C dedicated and personalized touch. And now I will hand over to Danielle.
Thanks, guys. So nice to meet you all. So What does this actually mean for you? It really boils down to four main pillars. The first is 24/7 infrastructure monitoring. This is proactive and automated oversight, not only of your system, but of everything involved within your IT endeavors. You also get instant employee support, this using remote access and AI to help your teams solve things immediately. You have zero-touch security and patching. This drastically strengthens your security posture by keeping endpoints compliant and patched automatically. And it only takes minutes to resolve, so a highly reliable and fast response system that turns hours of downtime into just a few minutes. Great. Ultimately, the goal is to create a better day for every employee. When IT just works, your people can focus on what actually matters. Through our multi-channel help desk, employees can get help via email, via chat, or by phone. And we know how painful employee offboarding and onboarding can be. So with Atera and 7C, that process is significantly simplified. Devices are automatically provisioned at scale, ensuring that there is a consistent and secure IT experience for a new hire's first day. When an employee leaves, secure offboarding happens instantly. The data is protected and access is revoked quickly, reducing your security risk. Because you came to this webinar today, we want to share an exclusive look at something truly exciting that we've been working on for the future of your IT support. We'd like to introduce Robin. It is a 24/7 IT technician. Robin is an AI autopilot that doesn't just respond to tickets, it actively resolves them. We at Atera have built Robin to be entirely context aware and company smart. This means it actively learns the ins and outs of your specific IT environment to understand the root cause of issues and not just the symptoms. Because Robin integrates natively into the spaces your team already works on, like Microsoft Teams and Slack, support is available anywhere and everywhere so employees can get the instant resolutions without ever leaving their workflow. This commitment to delivering a better IT experience is reflected in how the market elevates us. If you look at this G2 grid for the best AI ops tools and platforms, you'll see that Atera is positioned far into the top right leaders quadrant. This isn't just a marketing claim. This placement is driven by genuine high customer satisfaction and a massive market presence, proving that our AI-powered platform is consistently outperforming others in the market. Before we wrap up and take questions, I want to touch on the most critical piece for our clients, security and trust. Using AI can sometimes raise security questions, but with Atera, we are building trust with responsible enterprise-grade AI. Our AI is built on Microsoft Azure OpenAI, guided by transparent and secure principles. No user data is shared with OpenAI or used for training purposes. Your data is hosted exclusively within Microsoft Azure. Furthermore, we adhere to the strictest compliance standards, including GDPR, AICPA, SOC 2, ISO 27001, and HIPAA. You get all the automation and visibility benefits of AI without compromising a single ounce of security. So we're happy to answer any questions, but in the meantime, back to you, Jacques, at 7C.
Thank you, Mira. Thanks, Danielle. Really appreciate the walkthrough. Hi, everyone. I'm Jacques. I lead branch and sales at 7C, and I've been in IT for more than 25 years. Before we open the Q&A, I want to share something practical that we're sending to every single attendee after today's session, because we don't want this webinar to be good information that fades away by next week. We want it to turn into action that you can actually implement. After the webinar, everyone will receive our 30-day roadmap and checklist, and I want to quickly explain what it is and why it matters. This isn't a complicated project plan, and it's not something that assumes you're rebuilding your entire IT environment from scratch. It's a practical, step-by-step way to reduce downtime and IT backlogs by focusing on the things that usually create the most noise in SME environments: repeat issues, unclear workflows, lack of visibility, and too much manual effort that steals capacity from your IT team or from your provider. What the roadmap does is guide you through a focused improvement sprint. It helps you establish a baseline so you can clearly see what's repeating, what's causing delays, and where the biggest operational risks sit. Then pushes you into quick wins that remove the most common sources of repeat tickets. Finally, it also helps you like a weekly operating rhythm, so IT becomes consistent and measurable rather than reactive and stressful. The checklist is there for one reason. It makes sure the plan is usable, not theoretical. So whether you outsource IT, run an in-house team, or operate a co-managed model, you can follow the same structure and adapt it to your reality. Now, I also want to quickly flag something that we'll come back to after the QA. For some businesses, the fastest way to get value is to have someone help you apply this plan properly to your environment. That's why we're offering a free IT assessment where we help you understand your IT positioning, identify the operational gaps, creating your downtime and backlog, and recommend the most practical next steps for your next 30 days. I'll explain exactly how to request that once we've handled your questions. So let's open up for Q&A because we can make the session specific to your situation. You're welcome to type your questions in the chat. As you think of questions, choose one bottleneck you'd maybe love to remove over the next month. For some businesses, it might be a recurring issue that never truly gets resolved. Maybe for someone else, it's a growing backlog, slow response times. Maybe patching or uncertainty around visibility. And in co-managed environments, it's often unclear who owns the problem, and that causes delays and frustrations. I see there's a question for an SME that wants less downtime. What are the first 3 operational changes you'd implement in the next 30 days, and why those first? I think, can I put Eugene in the spotlight there and ask his opinion on that?
Yes, of course, 100%. Yeah, so as we mentioned a little bit earlier, probably the 3 best things you can do is, like I mentioned with the 5 changes initially, is standardize, improve visibility, and improve your security hygiene. So what that actually means, because what would you be able to achieve in 30 days is, number one, from a standardization perspective, it's a lot more straightforward than you think. Like, yes, you can do all of these amazing things we're talking about with the Terra today, but it starts with something as simple as, how do I get support in my business? Do I phone? Do I send an email? Do I send a message over chat? Do I just kick in the door to the IT department and see who's available? That's really your first step to establishing a bit of structure around how to get IT support and help within your business. Excuse me. The second one is improving that visibility. Again, once you now have this process standardized, you start seeing those tickets come in, you now have an ability to start seeing, sure, I seem to keep having problems with Outlook. I seem to keep having problems with my laptops being slow. Maybe there's something there I should do. And then finally, in terms of strengthening your security, maybe don't leave your passwords, stuck to your screen. Use common things like MFA and so forth. These are all things that go a very, very, very long way to securing your environment. And these are, as I mentioned, these are simple, quick things that you can do. These aren't things where you need to reinvent your entire business around these things. So yeah, I hope that's some useful advice.
I see there's a question, how could the system benefit BPO companies, business process outsourcing companies? Danielle, would you like to run with that one? Dero?
You want to take it,
Sorry.
Mira, or do you want me?
No, go for it. Go for it. I couldn't get my mic on.
No problem. Atera can benefit any type of organization. We work with MSPs like 7C or internal IT departments. It will really just help you streamline the way that you're working by putting everything in one single pane of glass. You'll have a help desk and ticketing system to be able to fend issues that are coming in one centralized location. Your technicians will be able to have their own types of tickets, whether you're working on specific or ticket streams, and then they'll be able directly from the ticket to remote into the device and to be able to get the information that's going on the device so that you can quickly have a quick time to resolution. So you can move on to bigger projects or more tickets as well that are coming in for you guys. So the idea is to just streamline efficiency and productivity for any one of our clients.
I see there's a question from Quinton, is facing the same issue of doing some checks on his end as a 7C client, seeing alerts, etc. on the various platforms and left wondering who owns the issue, end up logging a ticket and being misunderstood as to what I'm asking. Will this system assist smoothing this over? How to consolidate Sophos alerts, Intune alerts, etc., etc.? Eugene, would you like to take that one?
Yes, that does smell like a me question. So yes, excellent question, Quinton. Funnily enough, this is actually very much one of the issues we identified when we started on this journey of looking for a platform like this. That we had reached the point with our previous platform where, exactly like you say, we have alerts that are firing all over the place. You know, are people getting to it in time? Are they being collated properly? All these types of questions. Having this disparate set of alerts and all such things, it's really not a great way to deliver the service that we would expect of ourselves to deliver to our customers. And this is one of the things that we are actively working towards with Atera, is number one, bringing all of these alerts in-house, simplifying them, working to filter out noise, you know, things like you don't necessarily need to worry about an AV that hasn't updated when 20 minutes later the schedule ran as expected. You know, that's the noise we were talking about earlier. These are the type of self-healing things that Atera is very, very good at. In terms of being misunderstood, you know, this is also something that we are leaning on Atera to help us with, which is using their in-house AI tooling. As mentioned, you know, as Mira and Danielle took us through a little bit earlier, this is something that, we're doing to try and assist our engineers with, shall I say, maybe better articulating what they believe the issues to be to our customers so that we can be clearer with each other and that we can get to resolutions much faster. I hope that helps with your answer. Your question?
There's a question from Audrey. We're also a client of 7C. When we have downtime across our company and log tickets, it goes through as a low priority ticket. Will this assist with that?
So we're in the process of building out things like looking for keywords and such and things like that within our emails that should hopefully see things like this and elevate that priority within the system when it comes in. Right now, the only reason you're seeing that is because that's unfortunately, well, not unfortunately necessarily, but that's the default if you submit a ticket to Atera, that it gets set as a low priority ticket. Now, what I do just want to mention very quickly is I would encourage you to not be too distracted necessarily by that low. We very much encourage our customers that if you are in the midst of a serious issue like this, please phone us. You're welcome to reach out to even myself if your issue is not being dealt with. I can arrange for one of our customer success managers to come through and see you if you feel your issues aren't being dealt with. There's many ways that we can bring our relationship much closer, much quicker. Yeah. I don't know if there's anything more you'd like to know about that.
Thanks. So we've got a
I
question
see
from
there's a
Pierre.
next question here. Sorry, just jumping ahead here. I see there's a question from Pierre. How important is it to upgrade all devices to Windows 11? So very simply put, if you are not on Windows 11 right now, you are running what Microsoft deems an unsupported operating system. Now, practically, what does that mean? Does that mean that my Windows 10 or prior machine will stop working tomorrow? Not necessarily. You know, we've all enjoyed the warm blanket that was the success of Windows 10. Even I myself miss it dearly, I'll be honest. But unfortunately, as the industry and life moves forward, there are new security measures, new ways to ensure the physical security of your device with things like the TPM modules that is a requirement for Windows 11. These things ensure that encryption, physical security, all such things are handled securely and on the device instead of relying on other software components. If you don't have a compatible device, something that we could look at, and I would encourage you to reach out to one of our sales or speak to one of our engineers or our customer success. This is obviously something that would need to be done, assessed on a case-by-case basis, but we do also have a strong Linux component to our business. There is maybe potentially a possibility that maybe your applications could work on Linux, and then you could sidestep the Windows 11 requirement. But again, that is very much a case-by-case assessment we would need to make. And then I see Amanda is asking, could a system such as Atera be integrated with the CRM? I'm going to hand that over to our fantastic Atera ladies. I'm sure they'll be much better suited to answer that.
Great question. I think it really depends on what kind of integration you're looking for, what kind of data you want to go from Atera into the CRM. We work with a lot of third-party companies via various types of integrations. We also have the ability to do cloud actions as well, meaning be able to perform actions on other third-party applications like filling in information. So in terms of the integration, it's more of a personalized question of what kind of integration you're looking for and what kind of data you want to flow between the systems.
Maybe one thing I can just add on top of what Danielle said, for those who are familiar with Atera, and I think 7C's seen that a lot, we take customer feedback very seriously, and it really gets in front of the eyes of our product. So if you have any requests or any things that you would like to see, you're always welcome to either pass it through 7C or on our user voice, which is our public-facing request board, and we're always happy to take it up with product as well.
And just one more thing I'd like to just add from a 7C perspective around that question. First and foremost, Mira is right. During our onboarding, we had a very long list of items that we put in front of them, and they were all handled with extreme professionalism, which we greatly appreciate. But there are places where we can assist using the tooling built into Atera. Something that we're testing right this very second right now is we, for instance, have our documentation in a platform that lives outside of Atera. What we have been trialing now in this week is creating what's called an MCP server. So basically what this does is using the AI within Atera, we can connect that to our system where we can now ask questions of it, such as, tell me what this customer's environment looks like. And then it hooks into our documentation platform, structures that information in a clever way that's easy for the engineer to absorb, and plays it back to the engineer right there in the platform, nice and easily.
Thanks. I see there's no further questions. So yeah, thank you to everyone for attending, and thank you for your time. If you'd like help applying the roadmap and checklist to your environment, and you want a clear view of your IT positioning and what to prioritize first, our final slide explains how to request a free IT assessment, as well as how to reach us if your focus is specifically reducing downtime and IT backlogs in 2026. Let's put the contact details up now. If you email us, please include your contact details in one sentence on your biggest bottleneck, so we can route you to the right person quickly and make the follow-up genuinely useful. Thanks very much. Have a good one.